Hey everybody, it's Jason from the Texas Gun Vault 2, and I'm just out here in the garage kind of tinkering around. I don't really have much gun stuff to talk about today. Besides, I went to the store and bought a bunch of gun cleaning stuff. I need to restock because I have been running out of gun oil, gun cleaner, and wearing out all of my brushes. I clean a lot of guns here at the Texas Gun Vault. Every gun that I review gets a thorough cleaning, and I like to do that to show respect to the people that lend them to the channel. So before I return them, I make sure they are in as like new shape as possible. So I go through a lot of gun stuff, and I've been very fortunate lately. I've had a lot of supplies, but I have just been running low on a bunch of things like brushes and things to go through the bore. I like to use these nylon brushes more than the brass brushes. I do have a few brass brushes and a couple steel brushes for getting really hard caked on stuff and like suppressors and so forth. But normally when it comes to guns, I like to use the nylon brushes and nylon, I guess those are just brushes you put on the end of your snakes and things. I do have a few that are in brass, and so I got a couple sizes. I got 45 caliber, 223, 9mm 40, 22 in the nylon ones, 30 caliber nylon, 30 caliber brass, these nylon brushes. And I'm just kind of going through all of my junk here to figure out which things I need to keep. If a brush like this still has a little bit of life in it, I need to save it, but that one can definitely go, and so forth. So that's kind of what I'm out here doing today. But anyway, I did want to also talk about, because sometimes people ask me, what do I use to clean my guns? I guess more specifically oils and CLPs. And I thought I would show you because, as I said, I get asked this question a lot, especially when I mention cleaning guns. I am actually not a huge fan of CLPs. I don't like chemicals that do three things in one. Was it clean, lubricate, and protect? I like to have chemicals that are designed just to clean, and then once the gun is clean, I like to have proper gun oil. You can do whatever you want to do, and are these chemicals any different? I don't know. What was that big controversy a few years ago with that company? I think it was called Fire Clean. They claimed, oh, it's a revolutionary product, and everyone was like, or some people that were really knowledgeable in chemistry kind of looked at it and said, I think this is just vegetable oil. But Fire Clean said, oh, no, we are not that. And then they actually put it into a spectrometer, and it turned out it was vegetable oil. You know, whatever. Is the stuff that I use any different than the CLP? I don't know. I try to use the stuff that doesn't smell and stink up the garage. I did have a huge thing of hoppies or hops number 9, and I'm through with that. And every time I came out here, my wife would just smile at me because the garage, you guys know what that smells like. But the stuff that I typically use to clean is I have found a lot of success lately in this M Pro 7 gun cleaner. This stuff seems to work really well for me. I think it breaks up a lot of the carbon. And by the way, this is not an endorsement of this product at all or any of that. I'm just showing you what I use, and you can use different stuff. I've discovered that when it comes to anything guns, there are some people that just get their panties all in a twist if you don't use what they like or whatever. This is just what I found works really well. It's a dedicated gun cleaner. Seems to work well. It's a little bit on the pricey side. Each bottle is like $20, but it works well for me. And then when it comes to lubricating guns, I'm a huge fan of the Lucas Extreme Duty gun oil. You don't have to use a lot of this stuff, and it works really, really well. It's, I guess, fully synthetic. It says maximum heat resistance. I also like, what's it called, gun butter. But I haven't seen that any place where I'm, buying oils anymore. So I've just kind of moved to this, and it seems to work really well. So the Lucas gun oil and the M Pro 7 gun cleaner. So that is what I personally use here at the Texas Gun Vault. I'm not endorsed by them. I'm not saying you should go out and buy it. I'm not saying any of that. So don't get your panties in a twist if you disagree. So, just going through my brushes here. Man, some of these things, look at this brass one. I think this thing started out as a 9mm, and yeah, I use it a lot. So, goodbye. I'm one of those people that likes to hold on to things, and I will use it until I can't use it anymore. That one's rusted. rusted. Anyway, while I'm going through this, I also wanted to show you something really cool. I know that there's a few people that follow my channel that are like really big into knives. And I got something knife related today that maybe some of you guys would be interested in. I think I mentioned in the recent past that my wife's, well, we're going to say stepfather, but it wasn't really her stepfather because he married my mother-in-law way after my wife was an adult. So if you want to call it a stepfather, but he was a good guy. He was just an amazing man. He was funny. He was very intellectual. You know, I honestly thought the world of him. And the times I got to spend with him were really great. You know, cookouts, you know, family events. But he was one of these guys that was very crafty. And I was always kind of jealous of. And I think that I'm a very mechanically minded person. My mind thinks in mechanics. I like cars, things that are metal, gears, that kind of stuff. But I have always been impressed by people that were craftsmen, especially when it comes to wood, like woodworking and being able to fabricate things. And so he was actually in, I don't say his youth, but let's just say 25 years ago, he was actually a very prolific knife maker. And here in the DFW area, he really made a name for himself. And he made pretty expensive knives. He used to joke that he doesn't even carry one of his own knives because he can't afford it. So I want to say 25 years ago, his knives were selling at like gun shows for like, I don't know, like $200, $300, $400. Like he made some really nice custom knives, you know, did all the woodworking for the handles and all that kind of stuff. And I always wanted one of his knives. But when I asked him, I said, hey, do you have any knives that you would sell me? Because I really think it'd be really cool. He had pretty much sold his business and sold all of his knives a long time ago. He still had a few like in his personal collection that he had. And he recently passed away, as I mentioned. So I was able to, or my mother-in-law gifted me one of his knives, and actually our boys one of his knives too. So we have a few of his knives inside. So this is the one she wanted me to have, and I wanted to show it to you. His name was John C. Ownby. In fact, you'll even see some of his knives come up on auction sites occasionally. And as I said, they're very high quality and kind of sought after. So it was really kind of cool to know him. But this is a push dagger that he made. And you can see his maker's mark there, John C. Ownby, Plano, Texas. And this was his, I guess, one of his push dagger designs. And really nice work here. I'm not 100% sure what the steel that he used was, but it's a cool looking knife. There's the wood. Really nice. I mean, I don't understand how people can work with wood like that and get it to look so nice. But it's really cool to get to have one of these. He also made like holsters and things. I don't know if he made holsters for guns, but he made, I guess, sheaths for knives out of leather and kydex as well. And so this is a kydex sheath that he had for this. So as I said, this is just going to be kind of a treasure for me because it allows me to remember him. He also made walking canes. He had arthritis, I guess, his entire life when he was a kid. He actually had to be in a wheelchair. But he used to make walking canes. He had like a huge collection of them. And I was able to get a couple. And I'm going to kind of hang them up here in the garage, kind of like in memory of him. I just kind of wanted to show them off because I think that we live through the people that remember us and the items that we interacted with. And so these will... I guess kind of just be around for a long time. And I just kind of wanted to show you his woodworking skills. This one kind of has like a leaf motif on it. And it does come apart in the center. And that is just kind of for storage, or if it's in a place you don't need the full length cane or just travel with it. He put a clip on it, leather up here at the top, and there's all that just awesome woodworking skill and knowledge he had. He just was a cool guy. And so I was able to pick this one up and another one of his. This one has a different pattern on it, kind of like a ribbon pattern. Kind of very similar, you know, handle up here at the top, clip. But yeah, he was a very skilled man. So I'm kind of honored to have some of his stuff and to keep. So yeah, I guess that's about all I got for you tonight. Anyway, I just kind of wanted to show off this really cool knife and kind of give a huge shout out to John C. Ownby of Plano, Texas. A really cool guy. I do miss him. He passed away unexpectedly. Just one day, he woke up one morning and was, I guess, raking the leaves. Him and my mother-in-law went to eat. They went to a Mexican restaurant. He always joked that if you ever go to a Mexican restaurant, always order the number 4. Whatever it is, just get the number 4. So I kind of need to do that in honor of him. But they went to a Mexican restaurant. He came home. He walked his dog. Then he came back inside. He sat down and passed away. He was 76 years old, and that was it. No prolonged, illness or anything. So it kind of hit home a little bit for me because he was, a close family member, and it just reminds us of the inevitable, I guess, for all of us. But yeah, it's really cool to get one of his push daggers, one of his knives, and his canes. So anyway, and talk to you guys to answer a question that people ask: what kind of lubricant and cleaner do I use when I work on guns? So that, I hope, answers your question. I'll pretty much use anything, but this is my favorite stuff. What else? Oh yeah, and if I'm ever going to put on any type of coating, like a coating or a wax on a gun, I either use York's Gun Wax, which I have done a review in the distant past with, and I also use Frog Lube. But I don't use it as a CLP or lubricant. I use it a very, very thin coat on a rag, and I'll wipe it down, kind of heat up the gun, and it I think it protects the gun great. But that's what I do. So anyway, hoped I answered that question, and we just wanted to show off a knife. So if you watch to the end of this very boring garage gun talk, the word of the day is going to be cane. Cane is the word of the day because I have these really, really cool canes in memory of my, I guess I would say, stepfather-in-law? I'm not really sure what the official relationship would be, but he was a cool guy, and I sure do miss him. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. And, as always, thanks for watching.